Is everything?
Alright, you all set?
Yep.
You sitting good. You look good.
Thank you. And you want to ask questions before we start?
Mm-hmm. No worries. Just follow. You're gonna be good to go. And your Instagram is live. They can hear us talking now for real. I just like to be on his so I can see. Give me one second. I always do this.
That's a story behind that picture.
Yes, it is, and you surely about to tell it.
Yes, I am.
I want to see how we look.
I don't think we're going to be able to see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I want to welcome everybody to another episode of Let's Talk with Ro. Tonight we're going to have Vernae Montigue on. And Vernae has a very interesting story about love, about toxic love, about real love, love and tragedy, love and heartbreak. And I want to welcome you on the show tonight. Thank you so much for making time to come. I know you are so busy. Yep, and you look beautiful as always. But as you all know, a lot of on social media right now, when I get up in the morning, the first thing I see, the last thing I see, everybody is concerned about having a wife or having a husband, a significant other. And I don't want to say everybody, but it's a lot of people. People that are in relationships seem to be unhappy. People that are not in relationships seems to desire and be desperate for one. I'm just being honest. It is really a lot of talk about love and relationships. People are concerned. So, when I thought about doing this show, God showed me you. And it's no exaggeration. I don't want to get into the God ticket, but it's true. God showed me you clearly, and he showed me that you are experienced in this area and that it was time for you to tell your story.
Amen.
So when I called you and you responded like you did and said that you had already been working on some things internally, I knew that it was meant for you to be here tonight. And I just want to thank you for coming on, because some people are very uncomfortable with talking about their love TKOs. That's what I call it. But we all, well, I can't say that. Some people had a magical story. But a lot of people have been through heartache and pain repeatedly when it comes love, romance.
Yeah.
So I don't ever like to keep the viewers waiting. I really want to spend most of the time getting into your story. So kicking it off, I remember one of my initial meetings with you was when I came into a hair salon, and it was about 10 people crowded around you, and they were literally holding you up to get your hair done. And you were very thin, you had lost a lot of weight. Looking at you, I thought that you were,
We different now.
we different now, but I remember the day I saw you, I kept asking, were you okay? Because you were so fragile. And I mean, literally, you could not hold your head up. And somebody whispered to me, don't ask that again, because she is actually getting ready for her boyfriend's funeral. So tell me a little bit about that. I recall his name being T.
Yes. Okay. The story about T was, it's kind of funny because my friend, I don't want to disclose her name, but she was messing with one of his friends. And I'll never forget, we went to go see Backyard. This was November 24th, 1999. And we went to go see Backyard, and I met T. And fast forward, not to go into all the details, but from that point on, we was together every day. And I loved him, like, instantly. I was like, this my man. Like, I'm with him. And I think I was 17 years old. And T was out here in these streets. And T made sure I was good. So, you know, your parents, they kept me sheltered in Clinton. And when they kept me sheltered, you know, they don't want you to, it's a reason that they take you to these places, like, because they don't want you to be exposed to all the evils of the world. But I met T, and it was just like, he was so exciting. You know, everything about his life was just exciting. Him, his friends. You know, back in the day when you 17, 18 years old, your friends hook you up with somebody, and then y'all talking to, so it's like everybody's talking to friends. And my parents figured out that I was saying I was going to work, but I was lying to get the car to go see him. And
how long did you and T date?
2 years to the day he died.
Now, how did you find out T had been killed?
I got a phone call. It was this girl, my sister, P. I ain't gonna put her whole name on there, but she knows she is. P. I was supposed to pick her up. This particular day, he asked me to cook him some brownies. And he was like, cook me some brownies. I was like, brownies? But then it was somebody just kept calling him to come outside. And at the same time this person was calling for him to come outside, my mother was calling me to come down to her house. She's like, go clean this damn closet out before I throw all this stuff away. And my mother called me, excuse my language, a red bitch. So I was like, oh, she not playing with me. Let me hurry up. I said, all right. So we had his son with us, and I was like, all right, well, my father, off his whatever he was on back then, I couldn't bring the baby with me, so I dropped him off, because like I said, this person kept calling for him to come outside to come get whatever they was looking for. So I dropped him off, and he was like, all right, well, hurry up and come back. So I had talked to P, and I was like, all right, I'm going to come get you on my way to go back to go pick him up. And she like, all right. And this particular day, I was with my cousin, my older cousin.
So was it a phone call?
It was a phone call.
So who actually called?
But this was the wild part. I was picking up the phone to call her to tell her I was on my way. But she was already on the phone. Because back then, we didn't really have cell phones and things like that. So I'm like, I don't hear no dial tones. I'm like, hello, hello. And she like, V. I'm like, what? And she like, they shot him. They shot him, V. They shot. I said, shot who? What are you talking about? Because I just thought this was the most invincible person in the world. You know, like, he couldn't be touched. He was just so untouchable. And I was like, shot who? What are you talking about? And she like, V, listen to me. And I was like, what? She was like, they shot him. I said, shot him where? And she was like, they shot him in his head. I was like, oh my God. And I just dropped the phone. I never hung it up. And everything. I just dropped the phone. And I just grabbed my keys. My mother was like, where you going? What was going on? I was like, they shot him. And she was like, you not driving? No. And I was like, you know how we youngins, we buck on our mothers. But this particular day, I bucked on her like, no, I'm leaving now. Like, they done shot my nigga, and I got to go. And she like, I'll take you up there. And I swear this was like the longest drive up to Washington Hospital Center, and I hear him talking to me in my head. He's telling me, he like, come on, I need you to hurry up. I ain't got too much time.
Did you get to see him before he passed?
No.
So when you got to Washington Hospital Center, he had already died?
I think he died when I used the bathroom.
Okay.
Because my stomach, everything was in, because he kept talking to me in my head. He was like, come on, I don't got too much time. It was like, he was rushing me in my head. And I was like, oh my God, like, I'm trying to get there with my stomach. I don't know how to throw up.
So you felt connected to him during this process?
we was mental. That was my soulmate. Like, I felt him no matter where we was at. I could hear him talking to me in my head, and he could hear me talking to him.
So it was a connection.
It was a connection.
So, you know, the topic of the show tonight is, you know, is it love? With discerning whether or not people have connections, toxic love. Because I feel like we're living in a world where people don't know what real love is. And I myself have been a victim of it, and I'm learning. You know, we all are learning if you want to learn. So with that being said, your first love is murdered. And how old were you when he died?
This was November 24th, 2001. So I believe I was 19.
So you're 19 years old, and this is what sets the tone.
Absolutely.
Right now, your first love has been murdered.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you feel like that led to you having any toxic relationships?
Yes. Yes.
So, what was your next move after T died? Like, as far as dating, like, how did that work? Did you feel like you...
I was lost. I didn't know what to do. Because you talking about a person, he was a year older than me, that was literally like, okay, your father got a problem with us being together? Fine. He goes in an apartment. Your father don't want me to have use his car? Fine. Here you go. Here go a car. So, matter of fact, I wasn't living at home when I graduated from high school. Because on my prom, he had an apartment waiting for me. So, you know how like most people go out on their proms and they go here, there, and there? No, my surprise was this our spot.
So, question. I know that T was in the streets.
Yes, he was.
How did your parents feel about you being with a guy like that, or the people that you kind of love?
My mother said she prayed for him to get out of my life.
Okay.
And if anybody knows how them mama prayers and grandmama prayers, they got some seriousness to them.
Yeah.
And to this day, my mother has said she won't ever pray for that again because she didn't even know the power that she had at that time. But yeah, she didn't think that God was going to remove him in that manner. She just thought, break up, go our separate ways, whatever. But God removed him from my life.
Okay.
Yeah, God removed him.
So now that's the root of your story. I always like people to go to the beginning. So, you're young, you're setting the tone for love in your life. You lost you done fell in love with a hustler. Yes, a lot of women do that.
Called him the ice cream man. He had every variety.
And I don't know what it is. Why are women so drawn to hustlers? It's a lot. I'm not saying all women, but a lot of women are drawn to hustlers, to bad boys. I don't know if it's the rush or if it's the provision and we're not thinking about the long term. Why do you think women are drawn to hustlers? Like, what benefit? Because people say they didn't like their life when they changed. I don't believe that. Not to cut you, but when I was dating hustlers or when you was dating hustlers, what I want to zone in on is it didn't feel all bad.
It sure didn't.
Yeah,
matter of fact, it was pretty fun because you don't never have to wait. Hey, like, you don't have to wait for that check to come next week. When you say, hey, baby, I want to go da-da-da-da, he like, all right.
Here you go.
Meet me here at 7 o'clock.
Yeah. And
it wasn't no 7 o'clock next week. It was 7 o'clock this evening.
And when you're dealing with, you grow out of that. And, we see what that ended up like.
But do we really grow out of it?
That's a question.
Do we really grow out of it? Because you get used to the fast money. So it's a hard transition to go from this fast money where I know if I say this is what I want and I got it within an hour or 2 or 3 or 4 versus this is what I want and I gotta wait for you to work, get this check, did you work overtime, you know.
But you know what? I think through a series of loss, when you see how it ends, I think that is the defining moment.
Well, you would take a man that works.
It's gonna cost you.
You're gonna pay for it one way or the other.
Yeah, so I like to tell women now, you know, a lot of women in my sessions, I talk to them about that. You can go that route with that fast money if you want. But, you know, most of the guys that women deal with are either end up lost, dead, like your first love, unfortunately, incarcerated for a significant amount of time.
Got one of those too.
Yeah, so it normally doesn't end well. Now I know you had 3 children. Mm-hmm. Now I want to focus in on Bird. Now with Bird, you had how many children?
2.
Okay, so you had 2 children with Bird. Now how would you define your relationship with Bird?
That was insane. I loved you to the end of time. And you know how they say, I love you, like, I love you to death. He didn't love me to life. You know what I'm saying? But I had to learn that because when you're 20, how old was I at that time? I was like 25 when I met him. And he loved me to death. But he loved me to death in the literal sense. Like, I don't want nobody else to have you. So if I got to strike fear so deep in you that you won't even think about looking at another person by threatening your life, then that's what I'm going to do.
Now, I have a question. When you dealt with him, with a lot of women, I always wonder how they end up in relationships for years and children are established when they kind of saw signs in the beginning.
But no, I didn't see signs in the beginning.
Tell me.
He loved me so good. Like, he did everything I wanted. He rubbed my feet. If I told him my head hurt, he'd rub my head. He was awesome.
So when did you start realizing he was toxic?
After the babies. Well, baby.
Okay, so did you have...
I had 2 kids by him.
So your initial child was...
My daughter.
Okay, and her name? That's Rosie.
That's
okay.
my Rosie.
Okay, so when you had Rosie, I know that you spoke of an incident. Mm-hmm. So how did this work? How did you guys start to get violent?
It wasn't him. I don't know. I think reality started hitting him because this is the difference between knowing you messing with a boy versus a man. And at 25, you know, most men aren't men at 25. And so when reality started hitting him, he started using some hard drugs. And he had a friend that I felt like influenced him, which was a female. And don't get me wrong, I have a male best friend. So I never had an issue with the whole female-male best friend type of thing. But then you don't go, if that's your friend, they don't mess up your life. They don't cause problems in your home. You know what I'm saying? They don't make you feel like you need to choose our friendship over your girl and y'all child.
So what was y'all first physical altercation?
And see, that's the thing. It was actually me who brought the hands to the situation.
Wow.
And that's why I used to
Now you know that That is something that a lot of men are gonna be clapping about when they watch this.
Me.
Because a lot of women become violent. A lot of women become violent, and by the time the man knocks them back, you know, it's never right for a man to put his hands on a woman, but I don't think it's right for women to put their hands on men either.
But if I'm coming at you full force, with more force than you are giving me, I have sons. You know what I mean? You have the right to defend yourself.
So,
and when I tell you I came, I brought it. Because at that age, you don't know how to express your feelings of, I'm hurt. Like now is 38, the lamb. And now at 38, you don't realize that you can actually have an open communication with somebody and tell them, like, look, you hurt my feelings. I don't like how you make me feel. But when you 26, 27 years old, it's like, hold up, you playing with me. And then you pick up something, you bust him upside his head with it.
Oh, no.
And then you fighting him. He ain't got no choice but to defend himself, because I'm not coming at him like smacking and all that. I'm fighting you.
Okay, so you guys, all right, so we kind of get in the background for you guys developing
the toxic
issues, and you are physically fighting.
I'm fighting him.
You're initiating this. So I know that you guys ended up having a very traumatic experience that almost ended up in death for both of you.
us.
So tell me about that. Now, it was a day where you had to call the police to your home.
Mm-hmm.
And when you called the police to the home and said that you thought he was inside of there, what happened?
Okay, so this particular day, it was something inside. I had my nieces with me. So I had my nieces with me, and my big brother had Rosie. And it was just something inside of me saying, no, I don't think you need to go back in that house. I don't think you should do that. It was just something not right. So I called my mom. I said, Mommy, I need you to call him and see and find a way. Because he was also one of them people that had the thing I had with T. Like, I could hear you in my mind. We was connected. You know what I'm saying? I loved him.
So when the police went in the house to look for him,
they didn't find him. And I told them, he's in there. You're not going to tell me he's not in there, because my back door still had the bar on it, and it was one of them storm doors. So it wasn't like you had to put the bar on this door, and then you still had a lock on the next door, which was the heavier door. Both of them was on it. And then the front door, the top lock was on. He didn't have a key to my house, because we was going through our, stuff. Like, rent payers get keys. So you can't have no key because you out here tripping. So no, you ain't having no key to my house. So he didn't leave. And that female best friend he had, or friend, or whatever she wanted to call herself, he was trying to get to her. But it wasn't like he was trying to do something with her. It was the drugs. Now, water is serious, and I don't want to put his business out there like that. But, I mean, it's my story, too. But, it was the water. Because I knew the other side of him that wasn't drugs.
So he was smoking.
He started smoking water.
Like dippers.
Yeah, he started smoking PCP.
So this is the question. Specifically, the police did not find him that day.
No.
So what did the police tell you?
That my house was clear.
That your house was clear.
And I told them no, it's not.
And you had your daughter with you.
And I had my daughter with me.
Okay.
So they left. They didn't wait for me to pack a bag for me and my child to get up out of there. They rode out. Man just came and changed my locks, because he did something to my bottom lock. And they knocked the locks off, changed the locks. But everybody left. And I was on the phone with my cousin, rest in peace. And I told him, I was like, man, I don't trust this, man. Something going on. He's like, man, just hurry up and get a bag and get up out of there. So as I'm packing me and my daughter's stuff up, I just hear this noise, and then it was like boom, and then it was like raw, like raw. Like a monster came out of literally No way. And mind you, at this time, I was probably 130 pounds. He was about a good 200 pounds. And he came out. And I tell people all the time, yeah, that water ain't no joke. But the withdrawals of water.
So he wasn't high.
He wasn't. Because that's why he was pressing me to come home. Because he needed to go get that high again. She was calling him. She was feeding that messed up spirit inside of him because water got spirits in it.
So, long story short, he is trying to get you home so he can go get high.
Yeah.
Okay, now, when you were home that day, when he jumped out, what took place?
We got to fighting. And we was fighting. And I'm talking about we rolled down them steps. Because I was upstairs. And we rolled down them steps. He had an Easter basket. Wait, this was Easter Monday, 2012. I'll never forget the day. And he had an Easter basket for his daughter. And because my daughter had witnessed so many times, like you talking about a time where he was drunk laid on the couch, and because I was pissed off, I went and threw some hot water on him.
Okay, so you guys just had a domestic history.
It was
your daughter was accustomed to it.
And she was just accustomed to it. So when you see them going crazy, she's just like, okay, I'm just going to eat my candy and I'm mind my business. And that's what it was. So this particular day, it wasn't nothing different. And
so what happened?
we rolling down the steps, we get to fighting. Now mind you, eventually he overtook me. He got me. And because I was so skinny, he ended up tying me up with some shoestrings, tying my hands up with some shoestrings. And because my jeans were so tight at that time, because I was so skinny, he pulled my jeans down to my ankles so I couldn't run. And he made me sit on the couch and he was like, I made you some food and you won't eat it. And like, it just was crazy. And I was just like,
what was going through your mind?
this man is going to kill me. Like, okay. I'm going down today in front of my daughter. But the whole time I'm talking, I'm like, God, please don't let him kill me in front of my daughter. If he gonna kill me, then let it be, but don't let it be in front of my child. You know what I'm saying? And then, and I'm sitting here begging him, I'm like, please, just don't do it in front of her. Just, he like, Rosie, go over there and eat that candy. Like, 'cause he had an Easter basket, a nice, pretty Easter basket. And she went over there. And I'm like, Rosie, don't leave me. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling her, like, don't leave me, Rosie.
And she doesn't have.
But she has no idea because she's accustomed to
you guys fighting.
Us fighting all the time.
So what did that lead to? You're sitting here, he's looking crazy.
He went in the kitchen to warm up my food, and I'm sitting on the couch just like this with my hands tied.
He warming up food.
He warming up food, girl.
Okay, so
he about to feed. He gonna make me eat.
So he wants some food. What happens?
And I try to run for it. And I'm sitting here, I'm messing with the things.
So when you try to run, what happened?
I got loose. So I got loose, but in my mind was like, don't run yet. Just
so you sat
move
there.
him in a way where he still think you tied up. But when he go, you get. And at this time, like my hair long now, but it was longer back then. And it was out. And so he went back into the kitchen because he wanted the food, but he went back into the kitchen to check on it. And that's when I was like, all right, I'm about to run for it now. And when he caught me trying to run the front door.
He caught you?
Yeah, he caught me.
So you took off running, trying to get out the front door, right. And he catches you.
He catches me. So he pulled me by my head, and somehow, whatever going on, we fighting, I swing around. But right before he caught me, when he caught me, he was like, I was like, please God, and I'm praying. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm praying out loud. I'm like, please God, don't let him kill me in front of my child. I don't want to die in front of my child. Please God. And he's like, yeah, you better pray because I'm going to cut your ass up in some pieces.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to cut your ass in some pieces. I'm going to put you in this car and ain't nobody going to be able to find your ass. And that's exactly what he told me. And I was
so
like,
how you feeling?
At this time, I'm like,
I'm about to die.
No. One of us going to die today.
Okay, so what happened?
One of us going to die today because you ain't about to kill me in front of my daughter. So he pushed me back down on the couch. And I'm sitting there. But mind you, remember, I didn't got her loose somehow. But he's still thinking I'm tied up. So we back in the kitchen.
So he think your feet are loose. But your
my
hands.
feet are, because remember he put my pants was down.
So you're still tied
I'm
up.
tied up with my hands.
Okay.
Not with my feet.
Okay. So what happened?
So, I loosened it, but I did something with my hands to make it look like it was still together.
Right.
I go to running. He hit me
You
messing with
ran
the door.
again.
Right. He hit me messing with the door. Asked me to come out the kitchen. He just grabbed me back of my head. Bang. I was like, oh, got me. But because we fighting at this time, because my hands had got free at this point, I'm hitting them. You know, I'm scratching them. I'm like,
Get off me.
right. He done flung me around to the back side of the house. The back side of the house at this time is just the kitchen and the back door, but I can't get out the back door because remember I said it's got the storm door, the regular door, bar up.
Well, ultimately, I know knives became involved.
Because I went to the kitchen. And it wasn't necessarily that I had grabbed the knife. It was just like, you know, you wash your dishes and you got a pan right here. I mean, the dish thing, it could have been a fork, a knife, a spoon. I just grabbed something.
Because he was getting the best of you.
He was coming in the kitchen. And I had nowhere to run. The stove was right here, right there.
So you grabbed whatever you
I grabbed it, and it just happened to be a knife. A meat searing knife at that.
Okay, so you grabbed the knife and then what?
The blade was hand up. Blade up.
So you grabbed the blade
and sliced through my ring finger and my pinky finger.
And you still
But
have.
I still have issues from it.
You still.
I still have issues.
Like your hand, you can't stretch your hand fully out.
No.
And that's from that assault. Hold your hand up. I want people to see that. That's crazy. You cannot stretch your
I can't stretch my
You
fingers.
cannot. Let me see.
It's scar tissue. But because
Oh my God, you
because
cannot stretch it.
because I had an option. I had 2 surgeries on it, and I had an option. If we go back the 3rd time, it's a good chance that if we fix this finger, your finger's gonna be straight. So when you go to ball your fist up,
You can't.
you had 2 straight fingers.
Okay, let's get back to the kitchen though.
Okay. So
You grabbed the knife. It cuts your hand.
closed my
open.
eyes, but I didn't feel it. I just grabbed it, closed
You
my
did
eyes,
not-
and went like that.
Oh, you just didn't know you were cut.
I didn't know anything because your adrenaline pumping. It's like your child right there. I can't let my child see me die. You know what I'm saying? It's so many women in this world that are not alive today, and their children have that type of trauma. So I stabbed him. Like
So you hit him.
I hit him, and I swear it's crazy to this day because I remember my father when I went to my father's house and I told him, I said, Daddy, I'm scared of him. He said, well, at this point it's either you or him. So you make sure if they go down like that, you make sure you kill his ass. That's what my father told me, straight like that.
Okay,
And
so when you stabbed him the first time, did he back up? Because if you didn't know
he
you were
did,
stabbed,
but I was coming at him again because at that point it was like, you're trying to kill me. It's just a mind state, like you're trying to kill me. So I don't want to die. So I'm gonna kill you. And when I went to go do it again, some invisible force literally stopped my hand in the process of going down and hit him again. And he pulled the TV on him. Like he was like, okay. And pulled the TV on top of him to stop me from coming in. But it wasn't even the TV that stopped it. It was some type of thing that stopped my hand from going down again. And I grabbed my daughter and we ran.
okay.
And I went to my neighbor's house. God bless them. I still love them to this day because when I tell you I bled all on that girl's foyer, her sister saved me because they called the police. Everything was good. He ran off somewhere, used a different name, but they ended up finding out who he was. Found him.
So did he have to go to a hospital for his wounds?
Yeah, but he was still arrested. You know how they lock you to the bed, I guess, and
So he did go to a hospital.
yeah, and he went to jail too.
Oh, how long did he get for jail?
It was a good minute, but I was contacted by lawyers and things like that, and the thing is that PG police wronged me. They put my life in danger. They could have got me killed. They said
Yeah, because they told you your house
they told
was
me my house
clear.
was clear, and
You
I told
knew
them it
he
wasn't
was
clear.
in. Right.
I told them it wasn't clear. He was hiding up in a crawl space.
Oh no.
Yes. So I can see where they was like, the house is clear because they went through each room and they didn't see him, but nobody's thinking about a crawl space in a closet.
But if you the authorities, I mean, no offense or anything, you supposed to protect. So,
and that's what I was saying. Y'all still left me without me packing my stuff and getting about. Watch me leave. You know what I'm saying? They didn't watch me leave.
And if they would have, that incident wouldn't have taken place.
It would never happen.
Okay, so now question. This traumatic experience has gone on. You almost died in front of your child. Now we've elevated here. We've escalated, rather. You're not just fist fighting anymore. We done had knife play. People done had surgeries and got hurt. So, did you guys separate after that?
Yeah, because he was locked up.
So, he did some time.
Right, and I didn't go to court. I didn't want to press charges. When they told me, in order for me to go after the PG County Police, I would have to testify against him and go to court. I ain't with that.
Question, did you guys ever get back together?
We did.
So you, after all of this situation,
we got back together.
You guys got back together. Now, how in the world?
Because I loved them and I knew it was the drugs. When you experience a person that's not on drugs, and then you experience them on drugs, you talk yourself into believing it's just the drugs. So when he was gone for all this amount of time, I was like, okay, well, maybe he learned his lesson, and it wasn't him, it was the drugs. And everybody in my family looked at me like, what? Like, everybody looking at me like I'm stupid. I'm like, but no, I love him, and da, da, da. So when he got home, you got that makeup thing going on, and then came baby number 2.
So you guys, after all of that, went on to have another child.
Yes, Lord. And that's my sugar booger.
Wow. So how long did you guys last after that? After baby number 2?
We had a total of 9 years together.
That's a lengthy amount of time.
Yes.
Okay, now looking back on that though, like, do you consider that like a real love thing still? Or do you feel like it was toxic?
It was a lesson. Because real love don't hurt. Yes, you have experiences that hurt you during it, but they're not intentional. To me, at one point, I felt like that was intentional. Like, you intentionally meant to hurt me because you did not like something that I was doing, or something was not going your way, so you wanted to hurt me so you could get what you wanted, or you could strike enough fear inside of me where I wouldn't try you again.
So it was kind of a malicious thing he was doing, so that's made you not be with him. Now, I ask you all these questions because there's a lot of women today. I speak in a lot of my life coaching sessions. I talk to a lot of women that are very tolerant of disrespect when in relationships, and it makes me wonder, you know, women have a certain amount of power and influence.
We do.
And I think that a lot of times, out of our desperation for love, and I include me because I'm a woman and I have been there, but thank God we're not those people today.
Amen.
You know, you fooled me once,
but you're not going to.
Don't fool me twice. But a lot of women are tolerant, and I think that with men see action more than anything.
No. The term men are dogs is actually relevant, in my opinion.
So?
Because they can sniff out our insecurities. What we think we hiding, nah, they see that. And they see it because they try us. They'll do something like, they'll make a date with us or something like that. Like, oh, boy, I can't make it, da, 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 da. And you're like, oh, okay, no problem. But they over here with the next shit. That's why they canceled it, because it was something about her. They know what you about, but it was something different about her. So I'm going to cancel this date, and I'm going to go with her. And then you fell for it. You gave it no problem. You was like, oh, okay, that's cool, no problem, no problem. So they're like, And that was minor. That was minor. So then they go into, and I don't really feel like men are doing it intentionally, but then they go on to the next step of something else that was a step up higher than that, you know, and they try you again. But because we got this, oh, okay, it's all good. They're like, hold up, I got away with this, and I got away with that.
Now, I will say this. I got to piggyback. Now, sometimes it depends on who you're dealing with. I think that it's very important. I think it's important for women, first of all, to investigate and ask God to show them who they're dealing with.
But when you're young, you don't think about that.
Yeah, but we older now. We talking about...
We are older now, but there are girls, 23, the age I was having babies, that's thinking that, oh, we fighting because he keeping it real with me, but we fighting. I'm going to fight you because you hurt my feelings. So the only way I can hurt your feelings because I'm not a hoe, or I'm not about to be out here just, you know what I'm saying? I can't hurt your feelings by taking this D. So I'm going to fight you. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And
so how do you think that younger women, or why do you think that younger women should be, how can I say?
They don't know their power.
Exactly. And how do you think younger women can get more educated, or how do you think we fail as a culture to not educate our younger women? Because I don't recall being schooled or having great examples for how to deal with men. And it really had a major impact on the way I went into my love life.
Because a lot of us are looking for love. A lot of us have daddy issues that we don't even realize that we have. And, you know, you might have a father who might have been there in your life physically, but he wasn't there emotionally, he wasn't there. You know.
Hold up, you just said a mouthful. You know, in my life coaching session, I have to say that I deal with a lot of men that have not been held accountable on being emotionally mature.
Right.
And that is something that I have seen women accept for too long.
You can't accept that.
Women are saying things like, oh, yeah, John doesn't deal with this well. No, don't bother him with that. He doesn't like to talk. No.
He likes his own time.
It's a difference between a man being in the house and being the head of a house.
Absolutely.
I think that I know that men should be held accountable to be able to have good conversations about the way they feel. Mm-hmm. And to be able to listen.
And not feel like they're being soft.
Yes, and not to feel like they're being attacked. Mm-hmm. You know, and a lot of times I see that go to the end.
But it's because it's like, okay, so I'm going to say 80s babies, 70s babies. We are a different generation. I feel like we cut from a different cloth because 9 times out of 10, we had those older individuals in our lives that were showing us what a family looked like. But those older men could do what they wanted to do because women couldn't have the type of voice that we can have today. So it was okay, like you knew your man was out here cheating. As long as he took care of home, I can, you know, I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to take care of the house. I'm going to make sure dinner cooked and this and a third. But whereas we are now, we like, hold up.
Wait a minute. I don't care what bills you pay because now, more than ever,
we can make our own money.
Women are making their own money. And just because a man is paying all the bills, we often see a lot of women saying, well, I'm not going, when it comes time for the rubber to meet the road and for you to really make a stand, if a man cheats on you, just because he's paying the bills and y'all have children together, it doesn't mean it's an excuse to stay with him.
Exactly. It's unacceptable.
If
I catch you and I know that you did that,
I have an option.
You're giving me an option. And then you have a time where you do meet some men that give you an option. They let you know what they're doing out here in these streets. And those are the men that I respect more than the ones that be like, oh, nah, boo.
Lying.
You beautiful.
But
I
why
love you.
This is my thing. This is the thing. Why do women accept this? when they don't want to.
Because we have daddy issues.
I mean, it's more than that. I had a great dad, and I have accepted it in my past.
But
my issue was different. Sometimes you can have mothers that aren't there. But whatever the root issue is, I just really, I love it. I love talking to women about it because I truly believe women don't recognize the influence and the power that we have. And most men that are walking right and living right in accordance to their marriage and their love relationships is a direct result of women standing on what they believe and showing integrity and not saying it.
But and a lot of those men come from single mother households because they saw the struggle that their mother had went through to raise them to be who they are, so they don't want to dishonor her in a way to disrespect another woman out here. So they take her stuff, because we're not easy. We have some issues with
women.
us.
All women have issues.
We have some demons, and they usually come from past relationships that have nothing to do with the man that God has blessed us with. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you making this man pay for something he didn't even do. He had no parts of it. But you got them people that want to stick with you. They want to stick with you, and they want to work through whatever issues that you have, the demons that you have, because we don't realize sometimes we have demons. Some people are scared to actually face their demons. When you sitting alone by yourself and you got to think, like, what's going on with me? Why is it that, it's not me? Because, no, let me correct that. We play victim. Women have a tendency of playing victim. And we say, oh, he cheated on me. Oh, he treated me like trash. Oh, he did this, that, and the third. And then you move to the next one. And then it's the same story. But the only common denominator is you. Me. So what did I do to make this man and that one? No, I'm not even going to call them men. I'm going to call them boys. What made me make these boys treat me like this? It's because I was like, I just want them to love me. I just want them to see, and I'm thorough, I'm loyal, I'm this, I'm that, and I'm going to show them all this. But on some honestly, I don't got to prove nothing to you. Because who I am, it's evident. You're going to see that when I walk into a room. You're going to see that when you look into my eyes. You're going to know I'm loyal. You're going to know I'm trustful. You're going to know I keep it real. You're going to know I'll be able to hold my house down. Even if things go wrong between me and you ain't never got to worry about me going out here messing with the next dude.
So, question. Do you think that a lot of men sit back and choose their prey and kind of watch how women move? I think that women, more than they have been walked all over by guys and taken advantage of, like you said, play the victim role, I really don't think that's the case. I feel like out of desperation for love, you let him run over you. You see who he is. Most of the time I deal with women in sessions, they can track back to signs that they saw that he was a liar, that he wasn't consistent, that he wasn't adding up. But you wanted to change that because you wanted what you wanted right then.
Because we was digmatized.
Oh my gosh.
That's all it was. That man laid that game down and you was like.
But this is my thing. Why are women laying down so fast?
Because it's...
think about it.
It's the culture that we living in.
And you're right.
Because look at the Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion song. WAP. Now, hey, look, girl, I love it because it's facts. But on the same token, you got these impressionable females out here that think that all they gotta do is spread their legs and motherfucker open their.
Oh my God! Right? No, but that's.
But open their mouth and and they gonna get whatever they want. No, baby. No.
But I think that women don't realize that when it comes to sex, for men, I don't know why what's water is water. And I think women
and
don't
if you
understand
hit it
that.
from the back,
It's
no
what it
fat,
is.
everything look the same.
But listen, but the thing is, I think a lot of times women don't really understand how men think. And honestly, when men got a scratch, not all, but when these type of men that we are talking about, they have an itch and they get scratched, it's not a big deal on where that happens. And it's not an emotional attachment there.
But that's why they feel like the men can cheat, but it's worse when a woman do it.
Yeah, because
we will talk to a dude long before we drop them drawers on him. We will get that whole emotional connection that, you know, oh my God, he making me feel so special. He's giving me the things that he's not giving me, but he out here because, and I say it's because of our genitals. Our woman, we're in the inside. These men are on the outside. So you're going to feel more on the inside. Your emotions are in the inside.
I never heard that before.
Your emotions is in the inside. That's why I said, hey, look, they can touch your heart. They can touch your soul.
But this is the thing, though. You know, because my thing, as the show is coming to an end, we only got 9 minutes. Our time flew. But what I will say...
Oh, I got to come on again because, girl...
we going to have a part 2. But I will say this. Men do not listen to what women say. Men look at...
But why should they?
Yep, men look at what women do. And I'm really trying to close out and really give as much insight as I can from things that I have learned and things that I teach. You know, with women, you can say a million things. Men, once you disrespect a man, verbally,
he's done.
Once you verbally disrespect a man, it's hard for him to recover from
He's
that.
done. It's not recover. He's done.
And it's true. So I like to tell women, a lot of times our mouth can really shut some things down. And I understand it's not about catering to a man. It's about being a certain way. Being a woman and not letting people snatch you outside of your bracket.
But the thing is that I probably never experienced what a man was in my 38 years. So when I have dealt with certain men, I avoid them. Because my, you know what I say, patterns, history repeats itself or whatever. So I am not going to, when you show me something that is boyish, I'm going to show you how strong I am. I'm an alpha female. You're not going to do anything that I don't want you to do. I'm not going to allow you to do, you're not going to do anything that I'm not allowing you to do.
But you know what? You know what I have learned? It's a strategic way. First of all, a man is not going to grow up unless he decides to.
Exactly.
But normally, there is a reason a man decides to. And a woman that is driven to outdo a man is not an effective tactic.
Because it's not, okay, so I have a friend that I talk to now, I love that man to death. He's told me that he was a prize. And I said, what?
He said he is the prize.
He said he the prize.
Okay, so before I say what I think, what was your
the exact expression I'm giving you now? Like, what you mean you the prize? No, woman is the prize. He like, no, I'm not.
So question, we gotta dig.
We gotta dig.
Because
and I dug on it. But he made perfect sense.
Because you're 38 now.
Exactly.
So
and he's 40.
So look, my question is, when a man verbalizes something like that to you and you get this red flag.
But was that a red flag?
Was it?
Was it a red flag?
I'm asking you.
He letting you know. How? He said.
He letting you know what he thinks.
He letting you know. Women can't possibly be prizes because just like you got your own thing going, I got my own thing going. It's a known fact that we outnumber men. Period. And we have black women that are educated with bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, PhDs, and we single. We bomb, we get our hair done, we get our nails done, we got our own spot, we got everything. But it's a lot of us. Now let me ask you this about these men. How many of these men got their own house? How many of them got their own car? How many of them got not a job, but a career. How many of them take pride in how they look when they walk up out the door?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. We got a lot of people watching the show that have it. I've seen some viewers.
As we might.
Now,
at me.
now I will say this. I will say this. There are a lot of men in sessions. I meet a lot of men that are seeking a wife. But what I'm saying more than anything is, why are women entertaining men that are less than what they want?
Because me personally, I think it's out of desperation.
Me too. I know it is.
I think it's because my time is ticking. I'm almost 40 years old. I want a life. I want to have I want to have this. I got married. You know what I'm saying? I got married, and
how long did your marriage last?
I've been separated longer than I've been married. But we are cool now. But back then, I felt like he married me only to get other women's attention. The mother of his children, who wasn't giving him no attention until I came along. So, he was...
So you were like a trophy.
Basically. Because he was good to me. We woke up one day. We turned up the night before, woke up one day and said, all right, let's go. We went to Justice Peace and got married.
Okay, so, listen. I think that... Seriously, I think I wish I could see more people getting married that are meant to be together.
We weren't meant to be. Some people need to realize that you more worried about the title than you are worried about the job description. So, that title of a husband and a wife is heavy. But you're not paying attention to that job description. That job description tells you of when you're a wife, you literally have to let that man lead. And it's not so of submitting and being, you know what I'm saying, not being yourself. But you got to sit back and let him lead. And if you know he couldn't lead you when y'all wasn't married, how's the word he going to lead you when you are married?
And that's the thing with me. A lot of women, I have done it in my past. You meet these guys, you see the red flags. I believe
God, red, orange, green, blue,
the
purple.
flags are like this. But that desperation, that desire for love, it shows the lack of love that women have for themselves. And once you realize who you are and you decide what you're going to tolerate and what you're not going to tolerate, it's not, I hear people say all the time, well, Ro, they come for love, why do I keep attracting the wrong type of guy?
Because you are what you attract.
It's not about what you're attracting. It's about what you're entertaining.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, it's not, I tell women all the time, it's not about what you're attracting. I get fools that come at me all the time.
It's true.
Once I see what you are, it's up to me to entertain you. That first night that you weren't consistent, I decided to continue to entertain you.
But you know what? I've arrived at that destination now. And it's crazy because I've had a couple people tell me, like, I take more selfies now. I take more pictures. And then when they see me in my pictures, they see I'm glowing. And I'm like, because I'm happy. I don't got nobody's son stressing me out. And they be like, huh? I'm like, I don't have nobody's son stressing me out. Because the fact of the matter is, I can do for myself what you can do for me. When you can do something for me that I can't do for myself, then I'm going to entertain that. And I mean, I can give myself all the self-love in the world. But laying down at night with a partner, coming home from work with a partner, and y'all have worked out who's going to make dinner, who's going to have the house clean, because we both understand that this house, this life need to be maintained and taken care of. But these dudes, they're not with that. They just want to be able to say they laid with you.
But what about, you right, a lot of guys are like that. Mm-hmm. But what about, okay, I deal with situations all the time where people have understandings about the house is kept or what bills are going to be taken care of. But what about the emotional connection?
I want to be loved. I want to be loved. I want that man to look at me like ain't nobody better than her.
What do you think about the idea that men should love a woman more than she loves him?
It's facts.
Tell me about that.
I think it's facts because woman is designed to nurture, take care of. Our heart is wider, more open to take certain things. A man by nature, DNA, past, whatever, they are hunters and gatherers. They bring it home, right?
Right.
So when I say that, it's like they need a woman that they feel like they can take care of.
And I feel like a lot of successful women, I'm gonna tell you, I see things in women, and they may say a man might buy them a really nice gift, and I knew it. They'll say something like, "You didn't have to do that." If a man buys me a nice gift, I'm not gonna ask him how much he spent on it. Mm-hmm. I'm not concerned about it. Mm-hmm. If it's something I wanted and it made me happy,
he paid attention to you. Because 9 times out of 10, you have spoke about that in a conversation.
I'm gonna say thank you.
I'm appreciating.
A lot of women don't know how to. A lot of women don't feel like they deserve. They're deserving.
It's not about deserving. They just feel like he's not enough. He's not doing enough. Okay. Alright, I'm a single mother. 3 kids. I do it all by myself. Okay. If I feel like you understand what I'm going through and you feel like I deserve something and you see, and we're together. Let's say we together. And you home. And you with my kids. And I'm at work. So I don't need you to take care of my kids because you're not their father. I need you to take care of me. Emotionally. I don't need you to take care of me financially, but emotionally, physically. Look out for me.
I feel like, why do you think that a lot of men, I'm telling you, it's so many. I have seen people married for 30 years and they do not have an emotional connection. Because
that's not the
they're bringing money home. They're bringing money home, but women cannot even sit down and women can go to men and say, honey, this is the way I feel. The man will say, we need to revisit this later, and it never gets addressed. Mm-hmm. And this goes on for decades.
Because the woman says, I prayed for a man like you.
No.
They tell you, I prayed for a man like you. I wanted a man like you. But they left out the part like, I want a man to feed my
emotionally, they are miserable.
Keep me sane when the whole world drives me insane and you know that I'm all over the place. I need you to be the one to pull me back. I don't need them butterflies. I don't want your giving me butterflies because that's anxiety.
Yes.
That is not peace. The man that is for me brings me ultimate peace in every aspect.
Now question, what if you didn't already have that before he came along? Do you think sometimes women put too much pressure?
Yes.
Because I feel like women need to be whole and healthy emotionally themselves.
You gotta be by yourself sometimes. And this is the thing that people don't understand. They hear this thing about awakening. I have a spiritual awakening. They think it's all something. No. A spiritual awakening is ugly. It is snot nose, hair all over the place. I done went to sleep because I'm drunk out my mind because I can't get my mind together because this man just won't love me, and what's wrong? Why won't he love me?
And the truth is, the problem is not that the man is not loving you. Why would a man want to love a woman that he can see doesn't love herself? Exactly. That's a turnoff.
You have to, because men and women have their demons. We all got our demons. Our past is who makes us who we are. Our present is a portion of who makes us who we will be. So sometimes you gotta sit by yourself, and as women, we don't like to sit by ourselves because we're thinkers by nature. And when we start thinking, them thoughts get a hold of you. You like, hold up, boy.
Now I will say that somebody on our show said thanks Vic for tuning in as well. But we had somebody that came in and said that women have more staying power. And that he does, you know, when we piggybacking off of that. Women have more staying power in some situations. But she said that men do have to endure more, so she agrees with that statement. And Vernae, much as I hate to say it, it's 9:05. I know. Oh my goodness. I have enjoyed you tonight so much, and I appreciate you being open, being transparent with your story. And you know, we had a lot of viewers tonight. I appreciate that. We are gonna take your show to higher platforms, you know, but when women can sit together like this and be transparent and really talk about the way we are really feeling and what we're really experiencing, I think that creates a ground for healing and for other females to realize that they're not alone.
We gotta heal. And a lot of females understand that the next female is not my competition. Because I want her to win just like I want to win.
Well, some women feel like that and some women don't.
Hey, look, don't compete with me. We gonna work together. I want you to win just like I want to win. I want you to have a good man just like I want a good man. You know what I'm saying? Some women have good men. But do they treat them right? But I'm not going to be that woman that say, oh, you're not treating your man right. So I'm going to take him from you. No, I don't want your man. I want my man. The man that God or the high power, whoever believes in, is for you. Because if it's for you, we'll never pass you by.
Well, in closing,
Let's close.
The takeaway, I will say this. You will never get the man that God has for you if you don't love you enough to set boundaries that are suitable for a healthy relationship. You standing up for yourself and setting boundaries, showing men, not talking to men and arguing and fighting men, showing men that you love yourself more than you are desperate for them, can create a healthy atmosphere for you to receive the love that God wants you to receive. I appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. Check us out next Thursday for Let's Talk with Ro. Oh my goodness.
That was awesome.